most people, especially Nigerians, are fond of downloading this sort of loan applications, and these loan applications, or not just loan application is under a type of money making application. I classify it as money making application. There are two types. There are applications where you make money from, and then there are applications where you can loan money or borrow money from. So the aspect, I'm not going to talk about the aspects where you can make money or the applications where you make money from. There are some applications where you can make money online from, the referral sort of applications where you get to refer someone, you get to do some stuff, you get to post some links, you get to spam social media using that application, and then you get to make money. Allegedly, that's what they say, but most times it's not always what it seems. So, but the part I want to tackle today, because I'm really annoyed, is this loan applications, or the issue of loan applications. There are several times when I've wanted to make a video on this, but I would just postpone it out because of one reason or the other. I would just not do the video. But I said this time I was going to do the video. This is not usually my background, but I decided to just do the video as soon as possible. So most of these loan applications are posing as, most of them are spywares, and most of them are malicious applications. I've always said this on my channel. I've said this in so many videos I've done, that it is not all applications that are on the Google Play Store that are safe to use or that are legitimate. Most of these applications, after a while, after reviews, after Google must have received reports and everything, and they found a particular app, or if they found some apps malicious, or if they found some apps to be spyware, they get to take down some of these apps from their platform or from the Play Store. So why am I saying all this? I've seen times when people use some of these loan applications to collect money. For example, you need to borrow money to do some stuff, and then you hear about these loan applications, you decide to try it out. So there are so many ways in which people get to know about these loan applications, which I'm going to tell you later. But why I'm really angry is because some of these loan applications, they don't follow the typical structure or the typical pattern of collecting loans. And then what happens when someone does not pay a loan? You know, normally when you want to collect a loan, maybe especially when it's a huge loan, you could go to microfinance banks where they give you loans for whatever you want to do. But this one, you just need to, you can collect loan just by staying at home. All you need to do is get the app and then fill in some certain details, and then request for the amount of money you want, and then they will send it to you. They will wire it straight to your bank account. Well, that sounds good, but there are some bad sides to these applications, which I'm going to discuss in this video. So what I noticed is that severally I will just receive some form of message saying that this particular person is owing this loan application, and the person is a chronic debtor or something of that sort. Let me just read to you the one I received recently about I think it's relating to a friend of mine. There are some that I received, maybe I don't even know the person that they're talking about, but they just send me this. I'm sure some of, especially Nigerians, you might have once in a while received some of these messages on your WhatsApp telling you that someone is owing a sort of a sum of money to a particular loan application. I mean, the way they are doing it does not make sense, because if someone is owing you, there could be reasons why someone cannot pay back his loan at the appointed time. Does not mean the person is a debtor. There's a reason, or there are reasons why things can go wrong and then the person will not be able to pay. But if there are policies, if there are regulations behind these things, there are ways that these companies or these loan applications ought to handle cases as such. For example, in microfinance banks, if you are owing them and you don't pay, they wouldn't really start sending information or message about you to everyone in the world, or all your contacts or everything. They will just send it to your guarantors, telling your guarantors that you've not made payment, and then you are lacking behind in certain amount of, or for certain amount of days, or they will tell your guarantors how much you owe them. But it's really different for these loan applications. They first of all tarnish your image and then say some stuff about the person that is really, really ridiculous. Let me just read to you the one that I received recently. I've received so many, but I don't know, somehow I just get to lose some of those messages. So I got this message saying, attention, good day, sir, or ma, good day, sir. Below is a photograph of a wanted debtor named, then they put the person's name with phone number, they put the person's phone numbers. Please do not trust the said person with any form of transaction, as the client has been suspected as the client has been speculated to be a dubious one who uses friends and family's details to secure loans and refuses to comply. The client is a chronic debtor, a financial liability, and has proven to be deceptive. Thanks. 13,016 naira. 13,016 naira. Fast money. So, I mean, this is ridiculous. If someone is owing you 13,016 naira, it's not a million naira. It does not mean you will tarnish the person's image. So when they sent this to me and I saw it, I had to even reach out to the friend that this was all about, and the person explained to me what happened, that he barely missed a day of the payment, and then because something came up and he was supposed to pay, he was going to pay, and all of a sudden his friend started showing him this message about him being a chronic debtor and all. And I know the person is not someone who is I would say the person is not a debtor. The person is not someone that we say is a dubious person. So this was portraying really, this was really bad in the person's image. So I mean, it does not make sense if you know you cannot, because this is business. If people are running a loan application and then you don't know how to handle the whole stuff, you don't know that sometimes you might have losses, and sometimes there are better ways to handle these things. Microfinance banks, they have bodies where once someone collects a loan from them, they have the BVN. That a BVN is something you can use to track anybody's financial details. Once you put in the person's BVN, it shows you your credit details, your debit details. It shows you everything about the person financially. So once you have the person's normal way it works, once you have the person's BVN, you can register on some platforms that you can use to check if someone is owing a debt or a loan. If someone has collected a loan, register on that platform. So if the person is owing a loan, and anybody that wants to give them money in future will check it and see that, oh, this person is still owing. Not sending this sort of message to all the contacts. It does not really make sense, and it's just a little sum of money. The reason why I'm really annoyed is because I decided to find out. I said, okay, because it has always baffled me, how did they get my number? Is it that this person dropped my number as one of the guarantors or one of the references or something of that sort? And the person said no, that it's just the application, it's the way the application works. So once you download the application, you know, some of these applications requests for you to grant them access to your contacts, your audio, your camera, and some of those things. So this particular application requests for access to your contacts, and the moment you grant that permission, this is what happens. So the app had permission to all his contacts on his phone, and the moment things like this happen, they just start sending this sort of information to all the contacts on that phone, which does not make sense. It's in terms of privacy, this was a breach of privacy. Let me just put it that way. So it did not make sense one bit. So even this particular loan application, I'm going to call the name Fast. I think it's Fast Cash loan application. There are so many other ridiculous names that are there, but it does not make sense, because sometimes when they send you these messages and then you try to understand who the person is and why you got this message, some of them don't reply you. They don't answer your questions, which is very rude. You cannot send someone a message and then when the person tries to understand what is going on, you decide to ignore the person. That's why I've been very angry. I've received some of these, and sometimes I don't even know the person they are talking about. It might just be someone I collected his number somewhere, or someone that has my number for some reason, and then you send me this message. When I try to inquire, I don't get any response as regards who the person is, what the person did. So it's really annoying. So most of these applications, I had to check on Google Play Store, and I noticed that Google Play Store had taken the app down. The app was taken down from Google Play Store because I think Google Play Store noticed that this particular application was malicious, or was acting as a spyware, or was not just following basic protocols or basic processes. It was just acting, I guess the application was, someone just created an application and said, oh, let me just use this. I'm sure it's one person that owns this platform. The person decided, oh, let me just create this application, and I have some money. I will loan people money, and then I'll get this amount of interest after a particular period of time. And then when it does not go well for the person starts tarnishing the people's images, and then sending this sort of messages. It does not make sense. That is not how loan application. There should be, you know, that you're going into a business, that there are definitely risks, and there are ways in which this is supposed to be handled, and not in this format. It does not make sense. So most of the ways they get people to know about these applications is either on Facebook. You see most of them doing sponsored ads about these applications. They put sponsored ads. They start advertising that their platform, that their application, telling you that you can get a loan in 10 minutes, in 5 minutes. That is very quick. That you can get loan from as low as 5,000 naira to 300,000 naira, and then they just make it all. They will make it sweet and make it sound very good, but they won't tell you that these are the repercussions. If you don't pay for it in a day, this is what they will likely do. But it does not make sense. Actually, it really does not make sense the way they've been going with. I'm really angry, but it does not really make sense the way they've been handling some of these their operations. It does not really make sense. So the second way is that some of these loan applications, these new loan applications that are everywhere on Play Store, if you go to Play Store, you see over 100 of them. They are not regulated in any way. You know, microfinance banks are regulated. Normal commercial banks are regulated. They have policies. They have everything controlled. They have bodies that controls them. They have things in place. Okay, if this person is owing, they know how to get the person to pay. They must have gotten a collateral. They know how all these things work. But you can't just, what do you expect? You offer random people money on a loan application without any documentation, nothing, and then you expect them to comply. And when they don't comply, you start spamming lots of messages to people. That is the one that really annoys me. If someone is owing you, go ahead and find a way to handle it, but don't start sending me messages. Some of those messages really annoy me. Another thing I want to talk about is that some of these loan applications, they reach out to some of these influencers, some of these Nigerian influencers, some of them that are maybe coming up in the industry, maybe the comedy industry, the entertainment industry, and then they tell them, oh, can you just do a video about this my loan application? Can you advertise this loan application to people and tell them that this is how it works, and once you do the video, we'll pay you maybe 10,000, 50,000. I don't even think they'll pay up to 50,000, but they will just tell you they'll pay you a sum of money if you advertise that their application. And then ridiculously, most of these so-called influencers don't do their due diligence. They don't look at those applications. They don't go to research and see what people have been saying about those applications. They don't understand how those applications works. I don't even know. They don't know the repercussions of using those applications. They just go ahead because they are going to get paid, and then they go ahead to recommend these applications. They go ahead to do a short video, a skit advertising those applications, and then when people use those applications, they get things like this. They get their phone, because all these applications are acting as spyware. For you to have access to someone's contacts and then spam the contacts, it's breach of privacy. It's breach of it's unheard of, basically. So I feel like something needs to be done about these loan applications. Either the government has a lot on their plate, so they're not even doing anything in terms of scams and any of this stuff. So I guess people are the ones that can take this up. Avoid some of these loan apps. The only one I'm not even recommending this, but the only one I know currently, and I keep on receiving ads, is Fairmoney. I don't know how their whole stuff works. I don't know if their stuff is regulated. I don't know what it is, but I think most people have been using it, and maybe they have not really seen complaints. But you should check out, make sure you do research, check the reviews. If you see the reviews of this particular application, this Fast Cash or Fast Money or whatever, if you check Palm Play, because they are no longer on Google Play Store because they've been removed. If you check Palm Play, you see some negative reviews about the applications where people are trying to expose what they've been doing. So it really does not make sense. It really does not make sense. I feel there should be something that there should be a way to regulate some of these applications, and people should be aware of these applications. I know someone might be struggling with some people might have hard time maybe getting to pay for something, and then they'll be looking for a way to get maybe 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira, and then they decide to use these platforms. If the person defers payment, or if the person does not pay for one day, it does not, except the person has agreed. If you tell the person that if there was a contract that the person signed that, except maybe most people don't read this contract, but I feel like if you are going to send a message as such to all their contacts, you should let them know plainly that if you don't make this payment after a period of time, after a day, after 2 days, we will send message to all your contacts telling them you are owing. So all these things should be stated. But most of the people that have experienced these things where they just defame their names, they will tell you they never knew about this kind of things, and they were surprised when they saw that kind of information written about them. And because of that, most of them will not be inclined to pay. I mean, if I'm lagging behind in one day, if I was supposed to pay today and I didn't pay today, and maybe I said, okay, I don't really have the money, I'm expecting money to pay tomorrow, and then before that tomorrow comes, you go ahead to defame me, it wouldn't make sense if I pay again tomorrow, because then what is the essence when you have gone around defaming the person? So I think something really needs to be done. Something really needs to be done. If you are part of those thinking of getting loan with some of these loan applications, I think you should really reconsider it. Really reconsider it. Either you go to a microfinance bank or you go to a commercial bank. I think some of these commercial banks offer some sort of loans. So at least that one is regulated. They have your BVN. So your BVN is linked to all your bank accounts. So they know how they can always get the money back from you, except you're not going to use your account again to get money. But once they have access to your BVN, they can reach out to other banks and then make sure they collect the money back. So if you need money, go to microfinance banks, go to commercial banks. But if you know you need to use some of these loan applications, make sure is the one that is legitimate. Make sure it's the one that won't breach your privacy. Make sure it's the one that wouldn't tarnish your image if you lag behind on a day. If you watch this video from beginning to end, I don't think I'm going to do any editing or any cuts on the video. It's just going to be plain. So I just wanted to put this out there. If you've had experience of this, if you've received some sort of WhatsApp message about this loan stuff, just let me know in the comment section, because I'm really tired of it. Every time I keep receiving those messages, and then it's really, really annoying because they don't tell me anything about it. When I ask them, they just snub me or they just ignore me. So why are all these people running all these platforms? So I thank you. That's just what I wanted to share in this video. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to share this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I will see you in my next video. Remember to stay safe.